I mean, there's nothing getting into that place, even as an associate of the hotel.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, listen, that was the person who was just ignorant. When they put me into booking, they said, oh, there's rooms available. Oh, I'm sorry, it's all blocked off, because it's all shut down, but then the individual person with the code word has to file themselves in, which has now been done. No, it is there. It is there. So tell us, as somebody that works for Marriott, what your info is.
Well, I mean, I can tell you that the company very much pressures its staff on discretion and not, revealing personal information or anything going on, never talking to anybody on the outside. I mean, they're a huge credit card fraud target, so they have to, abide by all these very strict guidelines. But it seems like it feeds. I was just going through a course that talked about, monitoring people and reporting people that spend more than $10,000 or even $1,000 in a certain respect, and how they didn't even have to tell the customer that they were being basically reported on.
Now, when you go to get a hotel room or you go to get a rent car, it's like entering East Germany in 1972. They are interrogating you. They are asking you questions. And this is the new society. Listen, I went to Academy last night. I even shot video of it. And I went to get a kayak with my son because he wants a kayak so we can put it in the back of the truck and go places. And they bring out this giant form of who I am and numbers and driver's license and name. And I'd already bought it. And it was like an airport security. Two managers came over. They were going, hello, Mr. Jones. And they knew who I was. And for those that don't live in Texas, that's a sporting goods chain. And I said, well, I'm not going to do this. And they said, why not? And we're acting all suspicious. I said, go get your manager. And I said, I can return this right now. And they said, well, the police just want to know. And we have to register. It's a little bitty kayak, one-person kayak. I mean, this is America. We are prisoners, folks. This country is a giant prison run by crooks, and they've got everybody at every level under cybersecurity. If it gets past, anyone in IT with 100 or more customers has to go through federal courses, this new agent, and waive all their rights and agree to put spy hubs into all their equipment. I mean, this is beyond 1984, and people have no idea. So, yeah, everybody's a secret agent. You walk up at midnight in San Francisco at the airport, and you're totally tired, and you just want to drive and get to sleep because you got to be at a shoot with History Channel 60 miles away, at 9 a.m., and it's midnight. There's a line of people with their kids and stuff. The plane's delayed. This young, attractive blonde is just getting off like she's secret agent, stamping her feet and shaking her hair and going and just asking question after question after question after question and off a list. And I go up to her and I go, look, I know this is about Homeland Security. I'm not going to answer your questions. You can see right there, History Channel's paying for this car. And she got me back, by the way. She goes, well, I still need your credit card. She didn't run theirs and ran mine and laughed about it. And she said, oh, and I know where you really live and all this stuff. She knew I just moved. She was laughing at me. And I said, listen, your future is going to be destroyed by this too. She's injected with cancer viruses. She's the type to take the Gardasil shot. She's drinking sodium fluoride. You better believe it. She'll be dead by the time she's 40 of breast cancer, probably. But she's probably 20 years old. She didn't care. It was fun to fantasize that she was Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible. And it's like, look, lady, I'm not the spy. The people that you work for are the spies, okay? Little girl, you got it through your walnut brain? I'm not answering your stinking questions. I'm sorry. Anything else?
My wife and I just had twin boys last week, and just talking about, being knowledgeable about medication and stuff. And I was sitting there asking them questions and making sure they clearly understood. You have to come to me for anything you're going to inject in my son's bodies. And they looked at me like I was crazy.
Even though on record they do it at the schools and the hospitals without asking you criminally.
Well, and they looked at me like I'm crazy because I didn't want them to arbitrarily inject my children with hepatitis.
No. They just act like that, though. I mean, the point is, at the hospital, they acted crazy every time. And then later the nurses go, oh, none of us do it. And about half the people are saying, no, we're just told to act like that. It's all psych warfare. It's all black ops, man. I mean, you understand? And we all just play along with the role. Well, I'm not playing along anymore. I was making a scene in that academy. And I was like, oh, it's weird that I'm speaking out. You know, oh, yeah, in Alcatraz, you can't buy a boat. I mean, I'm talking a little bitty plastic, tiny kayak. And some of the guys even knew who I was, but they were still looking at me and kind of acting weird, like they were cops or something. This country's a joke, man. And I love America, but we got to admit what pathetic losers we are. I mean, land of the free, home of the brave. What a joke. I saw so many cop cars driving in this morning. I mean, this country is gone, okay? I appreciate your call. You're like, you ought to feel good seeing police. Oh, like when I'm in Mexico or Guatemala? No, you don't feel good. You know, and again, the average police officer may not be bad, but they're directed. I mean, you know, a cop pulls you over and the questions start. Or anywhere you see them, they're looking at you, they're assessing it. It's just like, man, you think you're smart because you're with the government. They're like little kids playing that they're superheroes or something. And it's just like, don't you get it? I happen to be behind the curtain. I've seen it all. I've taken the red pill, and I can't play patty cake with you anymore. I was talking to Dave Mustaine's wife about the last time they flew out and how they groped their 14-year-old daughter and all this. And when they opted out, they stuck them over in an area and made them wait. You know, 10, 15 minutes. They came over and started laughing at them going, still opting out? Still opting out? Because I was driving them to the airport this weekend, and I was telling the story of my crew when they flew out, when it looks like the military was involved, murdered that guy because he has chickens in his backyard up in Georgia, the chicken man. And I was telling a story about, yeah, my guys opted out of the naked body scanner, so they left him there for like 35 minutes, kept coming over and saying, oh, you opt out, you opt out. And Pam was halfway listening. She went, oh, I told you that story? Yeah, that's what they did. And I went, oh, no, they did that to you? She hadn't. So the standard thing is a little psyop joke with a citizen that doesn't want to go on an illegal naked body scanner that isn't even certified and on record gives you cancer, and they save your naked image, and they grope you on top of it. That was always the plan. It's about getting in your space. And they sit there and come over and laugh at my crew and go, you still opting out? Might miss your flight? You still just making them sit there for a total of 40 minutes, and they almost missed their flight. I mean, this is scum. Imagine the scum that they've hired who are running this administrative tyranny. And all over the country now, when you opt out, they try to make you miss your flight. So get there an hour early, and you take up their time. And you just sit there and speak out about, in fact, you should bring, like, New York Times, Associated Press, all the major scientific firms, John Hopkins, you name it, because they tell those idiots that work there that, oh, John Hopkins says the radiation's safe. So what you do is you go, really? And you just pull out of your back pocket, I have the Associated Press that it actually massive cancer increases, cancer clusters at Boston Logan, where they first put the scanners in 8 years ago. And just make, and believe me, you run your reverse psyop, but with the truth. They got lies, intimidation. You just take off the cloak and reveal the light, and they'll just like absolutely fall to their knees. And just, believe me, you'll suddenly be right through real fast. Oh, whoa, let's get you right through here. You're not going to let us just win and sit on you and dominate you and run you through a breaking process. You know, I was watching a Steve McQueen movie this weekend running on the treadmill called Papillon. And it's a composite based on a lot of true things that happened on Devil's Island, where they said you stole a loaf of bread, 30 years hard labor in the swamps with malaria. And, they talk about, we're here to break you. And everything that's going on in that, based on what really went on at Devil's Island, is breaking people. That's what this is. There's conscious psychological warfare chiefs who come up with a system to break America and to phase in total tyranny. And they plan on a civil war. They do plan on trying to ban guns, certain types, making examples, killing people, scaring folks. And most good old boys are going to line up and turn them in. I'm doing everything I can now to try to reverse this now. You see, the gun culture is awake to a certain extent, but the gun shows, the gun dealers, they won't talk about the Second Amendment. That's why I've launched a Second Amendment show, and I want to get your feedback on it, that's going to be political, with the Steiner brothers, my high school friends. They're big ranch owners and landowners here in town, great patriots. One of them's a former champion rodeo, world champion, and the other guy's been a top country music guy, but that's a side issue. The point is, we all love guns, so we're starting to do this. And that video is at the bottom of Infowars.com. Headlines, incredible explosions and fiery tracers. Tell me what you think about it right there. There's also an article posted on Infowars.com titled Video, New Alex Jones Gun Show. Tell us what you think. I want to get your suggestions and stuff right there, because we need to get in there and energize the gun culture and wake them up to the New World Order, and then it's over. It's checkmate. We've got the globalists in check, so they're accelerating a counterattack. All right, in this segment and the next, ahead of Fritz Springmeier, we get a quick update from Derrick Broze. It made national news a few weeks ago when the TSA, as they do in many other cities, began running checkpoints and searching people on the streets and at bus stations and bus stops, searching bags, violating the Fourth Amendment. And the cops were like, well, the feds are here. So they wave a magic wand. There's no rights. We're keeping you safe from Al-Qaeda, the people that publicly work for TSA and the globalist. So we're going to be going over that. And Derrick Broze is founding member of Houston Free Thinkers and partner with We Are Change Houston. And we really appreciate him coming on the show, popping in with a quick update. Because I've seen the videos online from city council and what's happening. They're now backtracking, and it's been pointed out that what they did is illegal. But I think some of the victims need to sue the city to make sure this doesn't happen anymore, because the creeping death of the bankers that poses the federal government is marching on. So break down what happened in Houston and now the aftermath of the feds groping people.
Hey, Alex. Yeah, so back in April, we had a member of the group, Philip Levine. He happened to be at the right bus stop at the right time, and he witnessed a press conference being held by Sheila Jackson Lee, a representative from out here, representatives from the TSA, the Harris County Police, Houston Police Department, Metro Police, and of course the DHS, holding a press conference announcing the beginning of a national pilot program called Bus Safe, which is a counter-terror program, and Houston was the first city they were going to do it on, and it included TSA getting on buses, asking people where they're going, checking their IDs, and the original press release said that there was going to be random bag searches, dogs on the buses, as well as undercover officers riding the buses. We got pictures of this as well. We have pictures of TSA inspectors questioning people. And after it happened, we put out an article, put the information out, and almost immediately lawyers from Houston also jumped on the case. And in Metro said they made a mistake and that there were no random bag searches, that was a mistake in the press release. Although we do believe that to be false.
Oh, no, yeah, it's all psyop. I mean, no, they can burn down a church at Waco and say they're not assaulting it because you're the enemy. It's all about deception against their enemy. By way of deception, the New World Order dominates this country. But continuing, again, they lie and always say you're the first city. They've been doing it in Boston, New York, Dallas, San Francisco. They're preparing a nationwide rollout.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why we wanted to stand up against this and try to put a stop to it as they rolled it out. So we put that article out. Mark Bennett, a local lawyer out here, he started attacking Metro Police Chief through his blog and calling him out for the lies. And so everybody planned to go to the Metro board meeting, and we did that. Members of the Houston Freethinkers, We Are Change, the Harris County Criminal Lawyers Association, we pretty much took over that board meeting during the public speaking time. And at the beginning of the meeting, one of the board members said basically he had no idea this was going on. So the people that are the head of Metro out here don't even know what's happening in their own company.
No, it's the bureaucracy. And again, an inspector in take the New York system is like one of the highest levels of police officer and is actually over police in many cases, controlling them as kind of an internal affairs. To call these TSA people inspectors when they're not even peace officers, it's all a giant criminal fraud. It's a federalization takeover under the guise of the terror they staged.
Yes, definitely. That's what we were there to tell them. I chose to speak as well as other members of the group, and we told them that they're creating an atmosphere